Okay, let's redo it. Welcome to
Happy New Year!
Welcome to Knowing Who You Are, and Happy New Year to you as well.
This time, Selena,
thank you. I mean, it always happens, and you can see just we went out of practice kind of because we didn't do the show last Sunday and yesterday as well. But we were trying to have a longer break. We started from the 24th and carried on. So yeah, Selena, hi, Ershad and Esther, Happy New Year again. And good to have you back.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah, we basically, because the previous Sunday was the 26th of December, which was obviously Boxing Day, and for a lot of people they had family time. And then yesterday we decided, you know what, it's literally too soon after New Year. We'll do one on Monday because it's a bank holiday anyway, which means people are hopefully...
let me tell you a secret as well. We are feeling a bit lazy too.
I didn't want to say that.
Because too many parties, food, eating, and going out. Yeah, it was really great.
We're very, very lucky to have so many wonderful friends and family everywhere. So it's been great.
And I hope everyone who's watching, you had a great time too, and great start of the new year. So today, I think it's a good start to talk about probably what you're thinking about last year and the experience that we had back to back starting from 2020 and 2021 and what the promises we are making to ourselves looking forward, but what we have learned. I think it's always better to start from backwards. I think rather if you start from the year back and whatever you have learned, what other actions or activities you won't repeat, and things like that, I think is better.
Actions you will repeat.
And also people to avoid, things like that. No, I mean, it's important.
It's true. It's true. Let's hope we have learned from our lessons and apply what we've learned in the new year, right?
So what's your biggest lesson?
My biggest lesson is that I feel that there's not enough hours in the day. Like we have everything going on with the show, and then there's the other one with the language, there's E&E and Harmony, there's my own channel, there's my own online work. And it's like, oh my God, I wish I didn't need to sleep. So I've decided to be more time organized so I can do even more.
You're a good sleeper, by the way. The moment you wake up, and then you can fall asleep the next second.
I know, I was blessed with
you're blessed.
Sleepable genes, I suppose.
I wish I could have some of this too. So it's a good time, I think, for everyone to talk about today. Let's see what you have learned and what are the takeaways from last year and what you're going to apply this year. So this year ahead,
what did you take away from last year and you're going to apply this year?
One thing that I realized, definitely, there are a lot. I've been through a lot. We had to go out of the country, stay there for nearly 2 months, came back.
Else. Yeah, that was
quite a break of routine for us.
Yeah.
So from that point onwards, things were literally, it were a lot of ups and downs, but tried to keep to my routine. But I was always planning, and there's quite a lot of things to look forward to this year, so I'm looking forward to it. So had a positive start. But definitely the takeaway, one thing I learned towards the end of the year, to be honest with you, because every year the 31st experience used to be different, and what friends or relatives we used to get together, things have changed. I found this year due to other people's commitment and things they want to do as well. And many of the people we normally get to see on the 31st, we didn't get to see them this 31st. But I was missing initially, but then I realized the good takeaway is that in life, it's best to use the present time and the present moment. Use that one as much as you can, because you can't guarantee it would last forever. And be ready for the change as well. Feel comfortable with the changes. We talk about these things a lot. Because any change would make us feel a bit scared sometimes. It's the fear of the uncertainty, because you don't know what you're going to face. And
well, I think it was interesting we were talking about that, because obviously you have these sort of moments that you remember as a child at Christmas, and obviously I'm still very lucky that I'm celebrating Christmas with the very same people, but somehow now being the grown-up, you see all the kids now getting the presents, and I'm thinking, I used to be a kid like that. I used to be the one couldn't sleep the night before and get my presents. Now I'm the one giving the presents, and while it has a whole different dynamic to it, it is not as exciting as it used to be from that point of view. But I love the giving. It's very nice.
It's important.
The night before, wrapping presents.
When you start giving, that's when you realize how amazing is that. The feeling you get just to see the smile and the happiness
it's nice.
On the face of the other people.
It's one of those things which if I had more, I would probably just end up giving more.
We will.
Yeah.
There's always chance of giving more. It's not only about giving material things. You can give people more love, more affection, more care, and more attention as well. So it's important.
Well, you've often said, right, time is the most precious gift that you can give.
Time is exactly. So that's one of the things as well. So
I'm blessed with a really nice family, and we're blessed with very nice friends as well. I think we had a wonderful Christmas, we had a wonderful New Year, and here we are with all of you.
So on that note, people who are watching, and definitely there's some regular viewers, I think let's open the phone quite earlier on the show, so we can get to talk to as many people as possible. And wherever you're calling from, as you know, if you're in England, then you can use WhatsApp. Regular phone. I'm just mixing it up. I've been through a lot throughout the day today. My mind's still. I'm trying to catch up, trying to be normal. So nothing bad. It's just my own
when
imposition.
he says it's a lot in a day, it's not and then he went shopping and then he went this. He spent several hours programming, then he spent several hours practicing, then God knows, exercising. You end up doing the whole thing. And then sound checks and everything else, and
Thank you.
What did you do on your bank holiday Monday?
So if you are calling us from England, you can just pick up your normal mobile phone and dial 07308192908. Or if you're calling from any part of the world.
Right there.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, exactly. And that's WhatsApp. So if you're calling from any part of the world other than England, then that's your number.
Yeah.
So let's see who will be the first caller today, and we can start talking about The New Year resolution. I mean, I think, as I was saying, before you start talking about your New Year resolution, I think first it's important to talk about the year just we left behind and what we learned. And Esther was giving a lot of interesting pointers, and I felt one takeaway just towards the end, nick of time, it was that we should enjoy the present moment as much as possible.
It's true.
And get ready for the changes in life. Because sometimes we can, when we expect a lot every time, I mean, based on our previous experiences or past experiences, sometimes we can get a little upset. So things doesn't stay the same, but again, even the bad times don't last forever. So let's see. We have few familiar faces.
Yeah, nice. This is great.
So we see Selena is there. She already made comments, and we see Holly Sutton is there as well.
Holly. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly.
Holly and Olivia, hopefully, I suppose.
Yeah, if Olivia can recognize the faces, that'd be great.
That'd be fun.
So yeah, that's the number for you on the screen. So if you want to give us a call, that's the number 07308192908. If you're using your regular mobile, if you're in England, if you're calling or watching us from any part of the world. And David
we have Mr.
Boyko.
TikTok.
Yeah, Mr. TikTok. David
Hello.
is from Scotland. So Scotland, how are you, David? And how are your Christmas? I mean, how your Christmas was, you can let us know. And also, from Bangladesh. Wow.
He makes a point. He's from. Well, are you from Bangladesh?
No,
or
he's in Bangladesh.
Are you in Bangladesh?
He's in Bangladesh.
Right. So how did Scotland come about?
Because he lives there.
Ah, okay, good. Excellent. Well, I knew he was originally from Bangladesh.
My information. No, but yeah, exactly. But it didn't go quite well, as I can see. He's in Bangladesh.
Wow.
So his Christmas, I think, he spent there in Bangladesh, and
nice.
also the New Year was
Lucky.
amazing.
Nice.
So David, how is it going? You can call us from Bangladesh. That'd be really nice, and it'd be interesting to talk to you and get some updates of Bangladesh. What's happening
he lives
there?
in London.
Huh?
He lives in London now.
Okay, he's back in London. Okay, who was being proud of his information sources? So totally fell flat.
That's funny. That's,
Okay.
that's like that time when you're saying, oh, it's 7:45 or something. And I'm like, oh no, it's 9:10, and my watch was wrong. Anyway.
So another
Very fun.
takeaway from this year, that don't be overconfident. So
don't assume anything.
yeah, exactly. Don't assume anything.
Oh,
Always
God.
ready for changes.
Yeah. Well, one thing I have spoken to a lot of friends and family is that I think there's a lot of people now working from home. If you look at what 2020 was, and in 2021 it was bananas with the amount of people that are basically.
And we have Wilson, by
working
the
home.
way.
Oh, Wilson Tan. All right, he's back in the UK.
Wilson, okay, hope you're right in saying that. You're back in the UK. Is it right? So
God.
let's make it clear. Live in London, but now I'm visiting Bangladesh.
Good. So, David, we are understanding that you're originally from Bangladesh. You live in London, not in Scotland, and you are currently in Bangladesh visiting.
So, it's clear. So, and Mohammed Mustafa, he is, hi, Mohammed Mustafa, where are you from?
nice.
If you could let us know, give us a call,
Nice.
pick up the WhatsApp. I mean, you can call us to pick up the phone and call us through the WhatsApp.
Right. So anyway, what I was saying is working from home. That's a big change that a lot of people have had to experience. And I've actually seen a lot of people who've become incredibly smart at how to do this. Because it was one of those things like they had no choice and they actually made it work. And a lot of guys, friends of mine are now working from home. And to be honest, I started too, because I remember my whole online business started taking off with my artwork, and obviously there's the graphic design I do online as well. And so we want to know, how did you what changes did you make, and how did you make them?
Yeah,
We're
according
interested.
to Economist,
Yeah.
the magazine, they had, as I was watching it the other day, they're saying that there will be a lot of changes. They had talked about 5 changes, political changes, environmental, and fashion as well. But one is our work pattern. One, it will be people would be more interested to work the hybrid work style. So you might be going to work for 2 or 3 days, and another 2 or 3 days you'll be at home.
Right.
And mostly there are a lot of interesting consequences of the situation, because most people who are found that they prefer to work from home are normally people from the Asian community or black community, and also women. So they were thinking that, okay, if that happens, what's going to happen? Normally you see the people you see in the office, is mostly the same faces from the same background, same race. So it happens that you'll have this bias towards those people who are working from home. So they will be cornered more, thinking that, okay, these people who are coming to office, they're working harder than the people who are not.
Oh my God, no, it's the other way around.
It's the other way around.
You and I can attest to the fact when we're working from home, is we just don't actually stop. When I work not from home, it's like good, the days end and you come back home, but I actually do more hours working at home.
We have Shushmita Kaur. Nice to see you all. Best wishes.
Nice.
Same here. Nice to see you.
Hello.
And Shushmita Kaur, she is in London.
Okay.
And Mohammed
Are you sure?
Yeah. Am I not sure? Shushmita Kaur, you can let us know if I was right or wrong. You're in London, I can tell. And Mohammed Mustafa, Bangladesh, from Bahrain. So he's a Bangladeshi guy living in Bahrain, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, we went through Bahrain on the way back from Bangladesh.
Amazing.
Last year, we can say now. And yeah, here we go.
Yeah, so he's watching us from Bahrain. Yes, London.
Good, excellent.
Okay,
good
so
yes,
lot of people
is from London.
Yeah,
she is from London. Confirmed.
A lot of people are tuning in today. Amazing to
nice
see,
to have
and
you all.
everyone is very positive and very positive start to the new year, I think.
Yeah.
So since all the hectic moments, I mean, I won't say hectic, but the preparation can be really hectic. But you have had a great Christmas after the new year and great start of the new year. So please let us know. This is what we want to start with, our conversation. And if you call us, what you have learned from last year and what you're looking forward to after whatever you have learned from the last year and what your takeaways are. So let's see. And Esther had already said what she had learned, and I had a few lessons as well. And there are a lot of things that I'm looking forward to. There are a lot of changes that I want to bring this new year. So from the first day, I kind of started driving myself towards that goal, and which is on. So that's why, if I'm just lost for words here and there and not trying to locate my information, you can tell I'm working really hard. So... Okay, so it would be really nice. I see a lot of comments are coming.
Yes,
and if
great.
we can get some calls as well, that'd be great, because we always love to talk to people and learn from you, because it might ignite some other ideas in us, and we might it would rekindle some of the ideas that we probably not finding us talking about. So probably if you direct us towards that direction and through what you have done. So let's start with people who are in England or even in Bangladesh. If you celebrated Christmas, what it was like, how you spent it, because we have a lot to catch up with. First, we didn't do our show during Christmas. Then we had the show yesterday, so we waited for Christmas and the New Year's to start so we could talk about it.
Yeah.
So let's see who would give us a call. If not, then we carry on. We had quite a lot of courageous people. And let me tell you, if you're calling from Bangladesh or any Bangladeshi person who's calling from any part of the world, you can speak in Bangla as well. যদি বাংলাদেশ থেকে কল করে থাকেন অথবা বাংলাদেশি পৃথিবীর যে কোনো জায়গা থেকে কল করে থাকেন, আমাদের সাথে বাংলায় কথা বলতে পারবেন. So there's no harm in it. And
And he will translate.
I'll translate.
If there's a question for me.
If there's any question for Esther, we can translate. And even for people who are watching, probably it's, Bangla is not your first language. We can always translate. I mean, I can always translate. And Esther would translate that after I've translated in English in Dutch. So
Okay.
So we can go
for any Dutch listeners. Well, the other thing that I decided for the New Year is to be obviously more health conscious, because I mean December is always a month where I just I go fully European. You know, we have the all the different spice.
So you're saying
breads.
Europeans are not health conscious?
No, I'm saying that I'm going full on into all my, thank you very much, Ershad Alamgir. Basically.
Oh my God, live TV.
Sorry.
Okay.
Basically, there's all these amazing things that go with a European Christmas. Like there is the mulled wine, which, you know, I never drink ever. But this is like something that I'll have a little bit when we do the Christmas tree trimming. And then there's, well, the mince pies, which is English actually. And then there is the spice bread, pepernoten from Holland. We have marzipan from Germany, and there was like the little stollen bread from Germany, and then we get given this amazing box of chocolate, huge box arrives 2 days before Christmas, so we obviously finished that one off too.
You plan to get rid of them? I don't know.
Well, we did. It's done. It's done. We finished
So all the box of chocolates
It's gone.
Boxes are empty and probably thrown away as well. Yeah.
And his wife. So that was nice. And otherwise, but obviously I always knew come January 1st, it's over. And, back to being healthy and exercise more and everything else. But I realized the other day, just on a daily basis, I actually walk 10,000 steps on a regular basis, which is quite something. So
I wonder how it's working for David. He's in Bangladesh, and the food in Bangladesh is so amazing, and the hospitality as well.
Yeah.
And there's no lockdown on top, so how David is doing, that would be a fun thing to know in terms of, if you want to be on a diet, how the possibilities are. I mean, how good it is.
I could not be on a diet while I was in Bangladesh. We were there for almost 2 months, and it was impossible. I mean, obviously, a lot of it were new, and the cooking was great, but then there's also all the delicacies that, you have, which, you just don't have in this country. So, it was a...
Yeah, speaking of Bangladesh, once again, I'd like to remind people who are from Bangladesh, যারা বাংলাদেশ থেকে দেখছেন অথবা বাংলাদেশী পৃথিবীর যে কোনো প্রান্ত থেকে দেখছেন, you can call us. আমরা বাংলায় কথা বলতে পারবো, and we can always translate for people for whom Bangla is not there. Oh, Fuchka. Simon Ahmed is there. He's from Dhaka. Simon, welcome to the show. And Selina says Fuchka. Selina, are you a bit shy today?
What does fuchka mean?
Fuchka, you had that in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
It's those crispy snacks.
Oh, yes. Oh
so you have
yes,
that little tamarind sauce.
Oh my
it's
God.
not sauce, it's very liquidy.
No, I know. Oh
so,
my God.
and you have the...
Oh my God.
What do you have?
Well, that and balushai. Balushai and
Roshmalai.
Oh. I mean, thank God I was always wearing very wide blouses and very thin clothes from over there because...
I mean, you are doing quite okay. So let's see.
It was quite amazing.
So, Selina, if you have... I mean, Selina, let's talk about your plan ahead and also what you have learned from last year and how much effective the plans that you had made, and you're keeping to it, or are you sticking by it? I mean, how is it going? So if you could let us know.
And for anyone who also wants to talk about their plans and not necessarily talk about last year, that's fine too. We're very interested to know how it is. Oh.
We had a call, by the way.
Selena.
Simon Ahmed called. Simon, can you give us a call back,
Simon.
or we
Call
can
back,
call him
back? Thank you, Selena, for giving someone else an opportunity. You're very funny.
What is it?
No, she says, I'm not shy at all. I'm just giving others an opportunity and for you to hear other voices too.
Well, is democratic, so no problem at all.
The thing is, don't forget that whatever you talk about, there is people that don't want to talk and they do learn from the conversation. So it's not just, Anyway, just so you know, it's fine.
So we had Simon, who was already on the line. So let's see.
Hello.
Hey, Simon. Happy New Year.
Hello. Happy New Year. How are you?
Very well.
So Simon, কিভাবে নিউ ইয়ার বা নববর্ষ কি করে কাটালে? Where were you? In Dhaka with family? কোথায় ছিল?
আমি ঢাকায় ছিলাম, একটু অসুস্থ ছিলাম তো এই কারণে কিছু করা হয় নাই।
Not COVID, right?
কেমন? না কোভিড না, এমনি ঠান্ডা জনিত সমস্যা।
ওকে। আর ঢাকায় তো এখন একটু শীত মনে হয়।
অনেক শীত পড়তেছে।
অনেক মানে কত টেম্পারেচার?
Is he ill?
ওটা দেখি নাই আমি, বাতাস হচ্ছে খুব আর কি এখন।
Okay, we should probably check what's the temperature in Dhaka. Yeah.
ভাইয়া, আমি একটু কথা বলতাম আর কি অন্য বিষয়গুলো নিয়ে। ঘটনা হচ্ছে আমাদের বাংলাদেশের মধ্যে ওই যে ধরেন আপনি দেখছেন কিনা ব্লগগুলো, যে বিদেশ থেকে যারা আসছে, ধরেন এই যে আপনার মতো আর কি, ওনারা বাংলাদেশে ঘুরতেছে, ওই যে কি জানি বলে হাবিব, নাতালিয়া, মারিয়া, শেরওয়ার, তারা যে ঘুরতেছে ওগুলা দেখতেছিলাম আর কি। আপনিও আয়শা ঘুরে যান এভাবে।
I mean, he's talking about the other day I was telling you about a blogger.
Yeah.
Whose wife is from Belarus.
Yes.
He's in Germany. So, yeah, they're in Bangladesh at the moment.
Okay.
So, I mean, really warm welcome.
আমাদের এলাকার রামগঞ্জের।
Wow. Now, definitely, আমাদের এরকম বেশ কিছু কাপল আছে ইউটিউবে যারা, I mean, they're very popular. আর তারা ইন্টারেস্টিং শোজ করে থাকে। So, they're there in Bangladesh, definitely. I mean, we had been there at the time. We didn't start the show. But, yeah. So Esther is there now on the platform. So definitely, আমরা আসলে তো আবার দেখা হবে. You guys are in
Maria,
touch.
because she's learned how to speak Bangla. Yeah, isn't she? That's the one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
She's Natasha, Natalia or something.
Okay.
So
বাংলাদেশে আসছে, ঢাকাতে ঘুরতেছে এবং বাংলায় কথা বলতেছে, বাংলাদেশের ট্রেডিশনাল জিনিসগুলো দেখতেছে, করতেছে।
Yeah, they're very appreciative. অনেক কিছু দেখা যাচ্ছে।
আমার কাছে মনে হচ্ছে আপনিও আসবেন ভাবিকে নিয়ে, আয়শা এরকম।
Definitely, Simon, definitely. And Selena একটা কমেন্ট করেছে এখানে, বলেছে
yeah, so
Sarah and Maria, and I thought Maria is from Romania.
They're super famous.
They're super famous.
They have a lot of followers, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's 500,000 or something.
Amazing. Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it for quite some time. So definitely, Simon. আর Simon, তোমার নিউ ইয়ার ব্যাপারে তোমার প্ল্যান কি? নববর্ষে এই নতুন বছরে তোমার কি প্ল্যান আছে বা কি চিন্তা করছো?
না সেরকম কোনো প্ল্যান নাই, চলতেছে আগের মতো করে আর কি।
But make sure sometimes what we do is we just sleepwalk through our life. যে চলতেই থাকি তাহলে দেখা যায় এক সময় কিন্তু মনে হয় যে মানে যদি ওরকম ভাবে কোনো প্রিপারেশন না থাকে তখন দেখবে সবসময় মনে হয় যে আচ্ছা কোথায় যাচ্ছি, এক সময় মনে হয় যে হারিয়ে যাচ্ছি কোথাও। তো ইম্পর্টেন্ট টু হ্যাভ সাম প্ল্যানস।
এক্স্যাক্টলি।
আর তোমার বাকিরা যারা দেখছে তাদের জন্য কোনো মেসেজ আছে?
সবার জন্য কি জানি শুভকামনা রইলো, সবাই সুস্থ থাকুক, ভালো থাকুক, আর কোভিডের যে প্রবলেমটা হচ্ছে সবাই সেফ থাকুক।
আর তোমার ফ্যামিলি যারা দেশে আছে ওদের অবস্থা কি? গ্রামের বাড়ি
আছে আলহামদুলিল্লাহ, সবাই ভালো আছে।
ভেরি গুড।
থ্যাংক ইউ ভাইয়া।
No, thank you Simon. Thanks for calling our নতুন বছরে. You are the first caller on our show. So always great to talk.
You're the first caller of the year, Simon.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Remember that. You inaugurate. Okay, Simon.
Take care. Do well.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. And Babu Bablu, he made a comment. He said, hello, beautiful people.
Aww.
And hello, you beautiful person.
You're a beautiful person.
Yeah, so are you.
Thank you.
And so is Babu Bablu.
Is Babu Bablu.
Everyone is, because we all are unique in our own ways. We are beautiful in our own ways.
Yes.
So, yeah, so are you. So, Babu Bablu, let us know what your New Year was like. We'd like to know from you, and also what plans you have for the new year, and also decisions,
anything,
and also takeaways, lessons, anything.
So what other plans do you have for the new year?
There are a lot of the plans. Sometimes I feel like not talking about that. It's advisable as well, because your brain gets programmed that it's already done. When you keep on talking about your plans over and over again, well, I'm saying that, but it's over and over again. Certainly, if it's a long plan, then what happens if you repeat yourself? Okay, once if you say that this is what I'm planning, but if you keep on repeating yourself over and over again, because I already discussed with you quite a few times, so I just don't want them to be programmed in my mind.
But it's not for my purpose. Just pretend that I've never heard of him before. I'm clearly asking for the listeners, since I know what your plans are. I can tell them what your plans are.
No, you don't have to. No, but the plans are, it's for more growth in terms of what I'm doing, to learn more, and as a human being, so I can, whatever shortcomings I have, I can improve on them, and I can be a better human being, a little better than yesterday, know a little bit more than yesterday, or from today, tomorrow would be a better day in a sense that I would know more. And I can move a little bit towards my goal, because the plans are quite, sometimes, they're quite big.
Yeah, true.
But what we can do always, take small steps at a time, but every step you take, you go forward. So that's the plan. Sometimes if you think about a plan, you get overwhelmed, because one of the plans, I want to start my PhD from this year.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you think about that, the plan is long, but the whole process, when you go one step at a time, you get closer to your plan of action. And Selena Ray, as related to our previous conversation, my New Year plans to be kinder to myself, love myself enough so I don't settle, and not ignore red flags and toxicity just because I'm scared journal and write more, definitely travel more, be just a wholesome, better version of myself, Selena 2.0, if you like, self-improvement. Wow.
Awesome.
But you know, the web is 3.0. In the internet, I mean, we have now internet 3.0 or the web 3.0.
I'm going to correct you on one thing here, Selena. I think, because you're saying...
Give us a call, Selena.
No,
Let's
but
have a discussion.
I'm going to say, right, not qualifying that just because I'm scared. See, be a more wholesome, better version of myself. I think the correct wording would be just be more yourself. Because you are already a perfect individual, but just sometimes things happen that make you not necessarily perfect. So I would beg to differ that where you should just be more yourself. And in that way you will be just fine. What do you think?
What did she say that you are? Is it just a wholesome, better version of myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it would mean to say that she is going to improve what she has for sure. But I have the idea that the person is exactly who they are. And normally, rather than you're going to change yourself, you're just taking away things which are not really yourself. And the more you are yourself, the better person you're going to get at the end of that. I'm a true believer.
Yeah, but
of that.
if I think about that, yeah, definitely. As I was saying, that be a better version of myself from yesterday. What I was, I would know a little bit more. Yeah. I would go a little bit towards my goal, towards my vision, and my life would be more aligned with my vision. And in the meantime, Maddie Misha said, I like Ershad and Ershad couple, but she meant later on Ershad and Esther. Very talented. I can learn many aspects of life from
I remember Maddie.
Maddie
she used to watch In Harmony with Ershad as well. I remember. Hey, Maddie.
No, she used to watch many of my shows back in the TV days as well.
That's right. That's awesome.
So for a long time, she's been around.
Yeah. And Selena says, thank you, Esther. I agree. You're welcome. You're obviously right. I mean, I get exactly where you... Because when you want to grow towards something better, you're looking at being a better person. I guess I just like the idea of not invalidating who you already are and the true potential that you already have. And sometimes you just need to unburden yourself from somewhere.
I mean, when you say wholesome yourself, I mean, a changed version, what it is, the core of your being would be the same. Yeah. But definitely there are certain things you need to shed. Yeah. And certain things you didn't have, you need to have. Say you might need to have more patience. Oh, yeah. Probably you used to be a bit short-tempered. That's what you can shed. Less cranky,
especially when you haven't eaten.
Yeah, better routine probably you didn't have. Now you can bring that back in your life. Yeah. But as a human, you stay the same. Yeah. But sometimes we lose ourselves due to our surroundings. Yeah. But it's better to bring ourselves back to who we are. So I mean, it's that's what I think. Yeah, the idea of being yourself.
Totally right. Absolutely.
And Maddie Misha, where are you calling from? You can also let us know and give us a call. And Babu Bablu, he was saying plans for 2022.
Oh, we're about to have plans.
It's a big plan. He's probably still typing because it didn't come through. Yeah. We can't see that. So that'd be great.
That's fine.
And we can, I mean, I'm waiting for these calls from these known faces. So in 2022, Selena 2.0 feels like she doesn't like to make phone calls anymore. Selena 2.0, please give us a call. And Babu Bablu 3.0, please. We are waiting for your plans. And let's see what changes you have been through. And also, Maddie Misha, what changes you have been through in last year and this year, what your plans are or what changes you're expecting for yourself. I mean, there are a lot of things. To be honest with you, when the year was ending, I literally felt, because it started a few months before the year ending, when I started feeling that, okay, things are kind of going in a way that I let this next 2 months just pass by. So I can get back to doing whatever from the new year. Sometimes we do things like that, but at the same time, you can literally not stop. You have to carry on doing your things. So when the new year starts, it's not just suddenly you feel like, okay, now from day one, you start something new, because it has to be a continuity of whatever you were doing from 21, but you have to start a little bit ahead. But it's never too late. And is everything okay? I don't know.
Everything's fine. Yeah, I'm just sharing because I've got some questions here and I'm sharing the post.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was checking.
People are very happy that we're back on. This is good. Yeah.
Great. So any messages, any calls, and if you want to wish to someone, let's do that. And I was checking something about, since we mentioned about anger, because recently I've come across some videos on social media, and I saw people in their temper, what mistakes we do, and I've seen that in my own life, and probably sometimes I've been guilty of the same as well. Because when you have influences around you that can really make you short-tempered, then you can get angry very quickly and sometimes unreasonably, and you end up doing things that you regret later on. So there are a lot of different anger patterns we have, and which can be, I feel most of the time, I can never say that anger is a good thing.
No.
It has no positive benefits.
No.
So there are a lot of different types, and I have kind of categorized them and put them together. So the first one is explosive. So the social media clips that I've been watching, I came across,
goodness, yeah.
I felt those were explosive. You just explode without thinking what's going to happen and how many people you'll end up killing. But the thing is that later on, the damages you have done, it's sometimes hard to take back. So what's your anger type if you're angry?
I would say...
Because they are self-abusive.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like people, they harm themselves.
Yeah.
Then you have avoidance.
Yeah.
When you're angry, you go quiet. You don't talk to anyone. I think sometimes I'm like this. When I'm upset about something, I can go quiet. And sarcasm. Sometimes people, when they're angry at someone, is said, okay, yeah, you are so good. Yeah, we know that. And people talk like that. And there's passive aggressive as well. So you feel that someone is not really happy and they're like, okay, put the glass down. And make the sound. And you're like, you're okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Don't worry about me. Things like that. And then there's habitual irritation. Some say habitual irritation is more like you're asking someone, but it's always that person is angry. Say someone is angry with you. So you're trying to have a good rapport with them, trying to have a conversation. Say, so how are you today? So what do you think? What do you think I am like today? I'm doing good. So you have any doubts? Things like that. So it's like someone is irritated. So
I don't believe. We've discussed this a number of times. In fact, you asked me when we first met, like, what is your viewpoint on fighting over something? And my viewpoint is that, but by the time you've started fighting, you've already lost control of something that could have been resolved with normal communication.
Argument.
Yeah, like an argument. Like there's this weird idea that a couple needs to have a fight every now and then. It makes complete. How is that rational?
And you can't even fight with me. I always am ready with this. Yeah, exactly. So.
No, I'm a black belt in origami.
And I'm a white belt.
The background music. Anyway, to answer your question, my anger is normally like I'll bottle it up, and then I'll remove myself, and I'll go, okay, what the heck just happened? And I'll analyze it right there and then and go, yeah, okay, this is why I'm pissed off. This is what I need to sort out, and then I'll go back and sort it out. Now, if I would see, like something today happened in the supermarket, I'm getting groceries. One woman dropped something. She made the coat of another woman dirty, and they started a fight, literally screaming at each other. Now, at that point, the security guard stepped in and said, "That's it, ladies, separate." Now, he's getting angry and he's using his voice. That I would think is correct, because at this point, they're disturbing the entire supermarket. I thought they were going to throw eggs at each other. It was really bad.
Selena has an interesting comment. I'd like to read that. She said, I missed a little bit. Did you say anger is a negative thing? It's no doubt a negative emotion, but it's a natural part of being human. I'm going to talk about that from neurological point of view. And I think it's helpful some ways to express ourselves rather than keep things inside. Okay, that's a good point, which you can, if you want, you can talk about whether we really need to get angry to express ourselves. Yeah. Things would be so different if we didn't have this emotion. It's like the Pixar film Inside Out. Well, I'll start with the neurological point of view. We have these responses. We call this autonomic nervous system's responses. So one is sympathetic, parasympathetic. Sympathetic is more like whenever we face...
Slow down. They're not all as educated as you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So their response.
You're not stupid. It's just that we're talking very specialized.
I got the point.
Specialized, sorry.
So in neurology, what happens? We have this nervous system. Our nervous system, it responds two ways. It's autonomic nervous system, and it has sympathetic responses, parasympathetic responses.
And what do both mean?
That's what I'm going to. So sympathetic responses, what it does basically, when something happens, you're faced with a danger, and say someone has said something to you, straight away, you feel that you go red. You feel that your voice is rising. You feel that you feel a bit impatient or even upset. So that is sympathetic response. So your anger could be a sympathetic response, and that is that. You can't avoid that. As a human, that response would happen in our mind because it's like a genetic thing, and we have this, we call it a fight or flight response. So when you face something, either you would fight or you would take flight. You just get away from the situation.
Yeah.
So either of the two would happen. So during that time, you can avoid it, but over time, your response rate, some people are very short-tempered. They don't want to listen to things. When someone says something to them, straight away, they get quite aggressive and they have to give you a response, and it prolongs as well. But over time, if you practice, definitely you would feel that urge to get upset or angry, but you can calm down and you can always control your responses. So what you feel initially, as Selena said, you can't just straight away bottle it up. You can't be a saint like, okay, someone called your name and you'll be dead inside if it doesn't happen. You will feel upset. You get disappointed or angry as well sometimes. But what you can do, you can control the responses. What your responses would be like towards that person. Someone had called your name. You're like, okay, it doesn't change me. You call me whatever you like, but I know what I am, and also what I've worked on myself towards what I want to be. So I can't change myself. I won't be what you're telling me to be. So your responses could be different. That's what you can do. And fight, flight, or freeze is a third as well, they say. Freeze, okay. But the thing is, the sympathetic response is known as fight or flight response. It's popularly known as that. But definitely, when you get frozen, to be honest, this I think you can categorize that under flight as well. Because the thing is that when you freeze, it's like, okay, I'm not going to fight. So what are you doing? You're again getting away from the situation. Okay, I don't know what to do. And the response you could have, fighting back, you just totally stop that and you got away from that response. Now you're left with, okay, I don't know what to do. You're indifferent to the situation. So, but Selena, I think anger can never be, some people when they say in a relationship, you need to have some anger, you need to have some spiciness, it adds spiciness to the relationship.
Bizarre.
It doesn't.
No.
I think it keeps on, always you keep on making dents. So whatever you say, because something comes out of your mouth,
you can't unsay it.
You can unsay, you can take it back. That person would remember.
And possibly hold it against you.
Hold it against you. And another thing, another pattern is when people are angry, what they normally do, especially people who are close to each other, they use a method which is really very bad. Personally, hurt someone. Say you have certain information. When you say, I know something about you, you know something about me, because we live in the same place and we share a life together. So you know a lot of things about me, I know a lot of things about you. But say, for example, when I'm angry, if I start saying, okay, that's why you did that. That's why you are a person like that. That's why you have that misfortune. So it's like, okay, I trusted you. See, you broke my trust. So this is important. So most of the time, just when you say, and I think, Selena, you can give us a call and we can discuss about that in what point of view. Definitely, you explain very well why you think that is important, because otherwise life would be quite monochrome.
But I do think that it's very important, because obviously the element of being able to express yourself, that is important, because in a relationship, if you can't...
But question is how?
Oh, absolutely. But it is important that if something upsets you, that you can say, hey, I really don't agree with that. But then you need to be rational enough to say, because of blah, 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 not just because you're call a name that we can't say live on air or whatever, right? Because, I think we've both experienced numerous times where, you have someone go to full front attack and you go, okay. I'm always like, the freeze element is the first thing that normally happens, but it's normally, I'm like, okay, calm down, move away. Selena!
Simon.
Oh, Simon. We have Selena calling as well.
Oh, Selena calling from where?
From there, I'm not sure, but she's...
Yeah.
Can we do that one?
Let's do
Selena,
it.
Here we go. Yeah. Selena!
Hi.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Esther.
You're the second caller of 2022.
I'm very, very proud to be. Yeah, I just thought it probably is easier to just call and, have this very interesting debate.
Yeah, definitely. Please. We wanted to hear from you.
Yeah, all I meant was I also disagree with the fact that people need to argue in relationships, to keep it spicy and all of this. I completely disagree, but I think anger is a very normal and, healthy thing to feel. Like sometimes, you could be angry about it doesn't have to be in a relationship. It could just be something in your own life or
absolutely
whatever. Or
yeah,
I don't know. You could be the need.
No, as I was saying, you can't avoid that feeling. Never.
Yeah.
You cannot avoid.
It would be a correct response to sort of like, something happens, your cat gets driven over. You're not going to smile or laugh. It's a situation.
Yeah.
It's not a wrong emotion.
But the thing is how you respond to the situation.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Because, say, it happened to me. I was returning from the gym biking and suddenly I didn't realize the zebra crossing was closed. And I waited there. So for me, there's a van driver. He had to stop. But before he left, he stopped. He did the good thing for me. So only how he ruined it, before leaving, he called me names, right? So I looked at him, I smiled. So that's the response. I felt bad. I said, oh, why did you do that? But the thing is, I felt, okay, probably he's having a bad day. Probably this is what his education is, or this is how he grew up. And unfortunately, he didn't have a positive environment around him. I just gave myself explanation on behalf of him. So I feel we can only control the response. That's true. You can never. Otherwise, anger, if you don't feel that, as I was saying, you'll be dead inside. Like your brain doesn't work. But only thing I feel like, so even to express yourself, as you were saying, to express ourselves rather than keep things inside, do you think that it's always necessary to be angry or be loud in the room, the loudest in the room, to express yourself? Do you believe in that?
No. I think that anger is just one of the many emotions, like there's so many, you have the basic emotions, right? And then you have the other emotions within those basic emotions. So you can feel, I don't know, sad, but then within sad you can feel melancholy. So anger, like you were saying, there's different types of anger, like explosive anger or keeping it inside. And
like the avoidance type.
Yeah, or like passive aggressive or sarcasm, as you mentioned. I think it's just, part of being human. And everyone has a different way of dealing with it. I would say, I don't know, I think I'm very patient. Like I will say whatever's bothering me, but I'm not going to shout about it. I'll just be like, you did this hurt me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But obviously people have different ways of, reacting.
So I think when you're angry, say for example, in a situation when someone had started a conversation or an argument, definitely you would start by feeling angry inside. But then the response part comes. So you have an option of either to continue, so how they attack you attack them back. That's one way. Or the other way is you can try to stay calm and ask them, can we talk about it? I mean, it happened. Definitely not always you find the reasonable ones. Sometimes people are like, when they see that, okay, she's very quiet and patient and she's not raising her voice, and some people get power out of that. They feel that you're weak, and some people get, okay, I can be significant now, I can be more powerful because she's quiet, so I can overpower her. There are people like that too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So even
that's so true.
And I feel that even if people like that you're dealing with, still you have the option of avoiding it. I mean, in such situations, I just walk away from the situation and I'm like, okay, when you're ready to talk, let's talk, but I'm not going to stoop down to your level. I think that's what we can do. Because that's something I experience, because end of the day, what happens, you feel tense, your blood pressure rises, but because problem is, what's the benefit you would get out of, getting a heart attack, having a screaming contest with this person who's not reasonable, and you're trying to calm them down. I learned this lesson in a very bitter way. Just last month, I had to deal with a situation like that when someone is constantly attacking me in a conversation, right, left, and center. And I was thinking what I can do. I was trying to, okay, please listen to me. Please listen to me. Please listen to me. But at some point, it continued for 20 minutes and I've been attacked. And at some point, when someone attacks you personally, there's another interesting thing. We feel like, oh, I need to explain. You are wrong. I have to explain myself that you're wrong. Then I realized I don't have to explain to that person. He or she, whatever they feel about me, good thing I now know, so which is a very good thing that they, even unwillingly, they just kind of express themselves. So from next time, I'll be careful about them. So they can't be true friends. So this is all these things, the grudges or whatever they think wrongly or validly, they know about me. If it's valid, I can always correct myself. But if they're wrong, then what's the point of explaining to them sometimes, I feel like, okay, do you feel like that about me? Fine enough. Because your conscience is clear because you know what you have done or what you're like. So I think from that point onwards, you have always the option of walking away from the situation. I think just to save yourself, because end of the day, I believe in that. Why should I harm myself from someone who I cannot control? Because you cannot control the next person in front of you, but you have full control over yourself, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it is like if someone has their own viewpoint of us and it's wrong, and then you try to like convince them, but it's like talking to a wall because they're not really. They're just so stubbornly determined in thinking what they want of us.
No, if they're reasonable people, if you're talking to someone, say sometimes if Esther and I are talking, we had occasions when I probably misunderstood things she had done. It's not an angry communication, but the thing was that I was asking her, okay, why did that happen? Why did you do that? She could have straight away, because I was wrong, say for example, I thought she did that for this certain reason. She could have straight away gone explosive and say, how dare you ask me this, and why do you think I'm like that, right?
You're judging me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could have done
she
that.
would be like, okay, tell me what the thing is, what you're thinking and where you're wrong. And she would listen to me, said, yeah, I know where you're coming from. Okay, why I did this, because this. Simple. And at that point, when she had got the opportunity, good thing is, first of all, to diffuse the situation. Because if I was wrong, rather than being explosive, you explain yourself, take your time, be a listener, then it's totally diffused and I cannot feel upset about this. Sometimes you would feel rather embarrassed that you thought something like that about this person who is so good to listen to you and also giving you a good explanation about the whole situation. So,
well, and the plus point also is obviously that I was fortunate that yes, okay, I do listen and I have the patience to listen, but you always let me talk afterwards. So once he's said his thing and he's got the question and, he doesn't understand blah, blah, then he will let me speak. And that is because we have a fundamental agreement that if there is ever anything that doesn't make any sense, rather than getting into an argument, we'll put some space between us.
Yeah.
And we actually just say, okay, you ready for the chat now? Good, let's talk about it. And we talk about it, and that's it.
But good thing is that I think last year, if we talk about last year, because that was the time when we came to know a lot of things about each other.
Yeah,
so
we didn't have a choice.
We learned,
really.
yeah.
we're in
a
lockdown,
for 16
quarantine.
days
In a single room for 16 days.
But in the quarantine, nothing happened, to be honest.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
No.
Only I got scared of her because she was positive and she got really emotional because I put a pillow between us. So she thought that she couldn't take it anymore. She's like, okay, look, we're in the same room.
How is he going to isolate from me when we're in the same room? That's just ridiculous.
Anyway, getting back to the topic,
yes, oh my God.
Madimisha, she commented as well, anger doesn't solve anything and build nothing, but it can destroy everything.
Yeah.
True?
But it goes again with the consequences. But I do think you're absolutely right. If you can't express yourself, then that's not healthy either. You have to be able to express yourself.
Because if we saw the news, let's say some terrible news happen, and we're laughing or smiling or something. That's a bit psychotic.
It'd be random.
Right?
It would be totally random. Absolutely.
Yeah, it should be angry. Like there's a certain emotional response for each thing that we experience in life.
Yeah.
But I also think that very quickly things can get broken and destroyed with anger or an angry response.
It's a response.
Because what was said can never be unsaid again, and it will leave a black mark of some. It doesn't matter how you forgive each other. It did come out, and you question, well, where the hell did that come from?
No, one thing. Having said that, always remember. I mean, toxic positivity, which I was saying. That everything that goes bad happen, I mean, any bad thing that happened in your life, you always say, oh, everything will be okay. Nothing happened. Oh, it's for the good reason. No, you have to accept it, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's bad thing, as you're saying, in the news, you're watching something which is horrible, you definitely sometimes, if you're entitled to feel angry, entitled to feel upset, disappointed, but then sometimes, if you can't do anything about it, what's the point of, breaking the TV screen? Which you have seen people take a baseball bat, I can't watch it anymore, and they break the TV screen. I mean, it won't help.
Well, they're probably filming it for TikTok, right?
Okay, yeah.
I was going to ask, Ershad, do you have like I know you have lots of degrees and things, but do you have like a PhD in some neuro something?
I am studying it now. So my master's is in neurology. That's what I've started. But I'm going through the path of getting a PhD in the whole subject. So that's the plan now.
And he has read about 100 books on the subject.
Yeah, I've been reading. I've been listening to a lot of neurologists. I've been talking to them. So this is one of my interests. And that's why I'm pursuing this higher degree as well. And I want to, achieve authoritative position as well to speak from, and also to learn from new discoveries. That's the plan. This is part of the plan. What she was telling me about.
With your degree, what do you want to like become? Is it like a kind of lecturer or like advisor?
To be honest, it would go in a lot of different directions. Once you get a PhD, definitely you can be a consultant, and as a neurologist, neuroscientist. It's not neurologist. It's neuroscientist.
Neuroscientist.
Yeah. So neurologists are more in a clinical sense when they're working more in the medical field. But neuroscientists, they can work as a consultant, and even for companies, because the kind of discoveries and even the things that I'm explaining to you, it's neuroscientific discoveries. So you can guide people. Say even in a corporate environment or even in relationships, even in sports as well, how you would respond to fear, how you respond to depression. I mean, it can be applied in every sphere of life. It's a very hot topic, and now we find that most of the things, even when artificial intelligence is a thing we have to think about, and it's everywhere, AI. So if we can make them conscious as well, to our level, to understand that we have to go through neuroscience as well, because everything is up here in our brain.
But the other thing is that what you should also know is that you may or may not know is that he isn't just studying that, because you've studied so many different subjects. No, I'm saying that
to start with, I studied law.
Yeah.
I did my master's in law.
No, but I mean, like the amount of books that you've got, like the Jay Shetty book, like there's a number of just different approaches.
No, I do study from the spiritual point of view. I check the religious point of view, but the thing is that there are things that I don't agree with, definitely. But if you say I don't agree with it, but you need to investigate, and you need to see both the pros and cons and both sides of the story you need to listen to, and you need to know about it. And I'm very interested in knowing everything that's happening around me. So from that point of view, I try to keep myself as up to date as possible.
And that's where knowing who you are came from.
Knowing who you are, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of degrees, though. Like law and this and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, and my present thing that's been going on, which started in 2020, is computer programming. So this is something I'm doing alongside, and it would come in handy anyways.
He's bored.
No.
Computer programming is so difficult. I also tried in last year.
Oh, wow.
With what was it?
But it's very interesting when you type something and then you get the result. You say, wow, I typed something totally. I just communicated with the computer, and it's speaking in my language now. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, the different languages of the computer coding.
Yeah.
It's quite dry. I found it kind of dry. Forgot what it was. It was a computer programming for dummies or something. Can't remember.
Oh,
but
Python, C++,
Ruby
or Java. It could be, yeah.
Java, yeah. So I was like looking through the pages and just thinking, okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like, it's one life and I'm always driven to learn more. So sometimes, this is how I ended up doing a lot of things. So some of the things they stayed constant with me is music. And always writing, reading, literature is one of my passion. And I think problem is everything that I end up learning that stay with me. And then I have more things to keep practicing. So then slowly 24 hours, it becomes harder. And you definitely end up neglecting some of the fields. Say, for example, say even in music, when I'm singing Indian classical, then I'm doing Western pop and other jazz or other things. Then you can't practice all of this in one go. Then I have to practice guitar as well. Then I have to do this coding. Then I have to read. I have to write. So, yeah, definitely. In a day, sometimes things get neglected. You can't do everything, but I have to keep myself in practice. That's what I try.
But he doesn't neglect me, and I make sure of it.
Yeah. You can't neglect her. She'll just open the door.
That's it. You've had enough.
So that's one of the things, yeah. But when you know the priorities, because I feel that whatever I do, why I'm doing this is for my life. And your relationships are very important. Some people do end up not realizing that. And when you go down that rabbit hole, you end up missing the important point. You come out on the other side with all these amazing qualities, skills, and talents and everything that you've built up. But when you look back, many of the things that are important and should be with you, they're coming out the other way with you. They're not there anymore. Probably it could be your relationship because you didn't pay enough attention to those people. So this is important. This is something that I really think that is important. Whatever you do, your priorities should be there and you should remember the priorities. So that's when sometimes when I feel that, like today, I totally closed myself inside the studio. I've been working away. And throughout the day, I was doing coding. And she came here and there every now and then. I was totally lost. I was thinking about a lot of abstract ideas. And then I felt sorry. And I said, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Because
I wasn't even complaining.
No,
I just
she
like
wasn't,
1 o'clock
it's
lunchtime. 1:30 lunchtime. Okay, lunchtime.
So it's important. I think whatever you do, communication is very important. And when you're wrong, it's better to accept it as well. And
Selena, you're a very good listener. I have to say.
If you find someone who's explosive and then you're like not explosive, like a angry kind of person, then the two obviously won't really...
No, if you can reason with them, then it's better not to waste your time because you'll try to explain yourself, but no one is listening.
You waste energy on that.
Because they already have their decision made and they're like, okay, whatever you say, that's because they try to, it's their confirmation bias. They always try to say that I already know about you. I've decided that you're this kind of a person. You try to explain no, but they think no, I cannot explain her explanation. Otherwise, my confirmation would be invalidated. So that's another problem. So we have that sometimes, and we try to find more things to get that bias validated. When we think that, okay, Selena is lying. So you said, no, I didn't lie that other day. Then I would say, but why did you say that then? Because I'm trying to prove myself right. I'm trying to, whatever you say, I'm not listening. Because my point is, I have to be right. So as I was saying, in a relationship, being right or wrong, it's not about winning. It's more about being caring or loving to the other person.
Yeah. I think one really important element is also, I read once that there's no greater liar than an angry man. And it is true. Like when you're angry, it is a little hard to think rational sometimes, which is why if you are naturally angry because something just happened, well, then realize that you're possibly about to say something that may not be true. So step back and then sort it out, because you can't, of course you can't get angry if someone says something to you. I mean, but very often I found, in fact, every time I found when there was an argument, it's because there was something not fully understood, and you're definitely not going to sort it out when you're yelling at each other.
I mean, you can't even hear, and that's not the good time to have a conversation anyways. Like, it's not a good time to have a conversation when you're in a pub or in a bar drunk,
my God, in front of other people.
Yeah, that's when people go out to meet each other normally these days.
And then everyone else just gets to watch the gossip.
Yeah.
You know, I have a question, okay, for both of you. It's not okay for somebody to, like, someone can show the preferences, right? But it's not okay for someone to kind of control, like, how you speak and how you dress and how you are.
I have a really simple answer to that. I have a really simple answer. If someone tells you, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, blah, 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 you literally just honestly turn around and say, you know what, then we were obviously not meant to be if you can't handle who I am.
Yeah.
Unless there's something really wrong with you, you know, and you're swearing every second word and you don't shower and your clothes look terrible and this person's trying to fix a correct thing.
Then it's the time for a decision.
But it's like, okay, you have all these things that you think are so wrong with me. What are you doing with me then?
say for example, Esther, she likes pink. So anything she buys, there would be pink, pink, pink. Most of the times,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
even though you don't get to see that on the show, but normally that's her
I
favorite
love
color.
pink, yeah.
So, and to be honest with you, initially, before I met Esther, I never was a big fan of pink. And girls or women, they are into pink, I would feel it's a bit childish. But then, the moment I met her, I felt that she make it look good.
Yeah.
And the first pair of shoes I bought for her, it was
Pink Doc Martens.
Pink Doc Martens. So, and I realized if that's what she is, I can't tell her. And if she's happy wearing pink, then she's okay. And if she's comfortable wearing it, going out, people have to accept her. I won't change her. And yeah.
I totally understand. I went to one of my nephews. He turned 1 yesterday. So I wore these like black flares. They're like not velvet, like a fake velveteen, I guess.
Cool.
Flares, yeah. So they look a bit like corduroys. They got like, really skinny lines on them, a bit shiny, yeah.
Yeah.
And a shirt, a really nice shirt with like turquoise and lilac and black and bright.
Wow.
And this person I'm talking about said, my trousers are really, really ugly, and they look like something to wear when you go to Tesco to buy, whatever, something.
Wow.
So I was like, I felt really fine, I felt really nice, whatever, going to the party, everyone thought I looked nice. But then I get this response and I'm just like, okay, because I love to express myself in prints and colors and bright stuff. I don't like to wear like very formal clothing. And then the same person, obviously, that I've been talking about for like the last how many weeks, said that if we ever moved in together, that most of my clothes would basically be going into the dustbin.
Good. Well, that's your call right there. You rest your case.
No, what about the clothes that my parents gave me? And it's like, okay, you can keep those sentimental clothes, but the other stuff, because I think what happened is that he's not happy. He wants me to look, it's going to sound really weird, but like expensive. And I'm like, okay, because I don't always shop in expensive places, but I do shop in places that is like, it could be in Primark, it could be cheap, but someone would be like, oh, where did you get that dress from? Because
if you can make it look good.
I have the knack of making it look nice.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean, that is possibly the worst evaluation of a pair of clothes ever. I mean, I can make pink Doc Martens look very, very classy.
No, look, Selena, like I'm sitting here, right? Would you talk to me like, okay, Ershad, I'm going to see what you're wearing, or you're going to take her thing, pull over and just check, okay, what Esther is wearing? We don't do that.
No, it's
So the thing is that if it looks good, I'm okay with that. I never understood that idea about, okay, oh, you're not wearing brand. I mean, I had many people like that in my family too. Yeah. So I was like, okay, if...
It's not even the brand. The person wants me to look... Okay, so he thinks he's not insulting me. And I'm like, yes, you are, because I'm expressing myself. But he thinks he's giving me advice on how to look even better.
What makes us right or wrong, is judgmental.
Yeah,
first of all, it is disrespectful towards another person. First of all, say, for example, when she dresses up, when we go out, I dress up and I say, okay, what do you think of this? And if she thinks, I think that trouser you can change to that one, she can give me a choice or a suggestion, and which I do to her, and she comes to me, and if I say, she even would change her hair, she would show me, okay, I'm doing my hair like this. Do you like this? I said, I think that would look better. That's one way.
Yeah, that's the correct way.
Or another way, you just make straight away that person feels very bad. Oh, no, you are looking like this. You are looking like a granny, say, for example. I mean, it's no harm in it, but the thing is that some people have their word. The choices of words, Because that's where we are wrong, and especially in a relationship. This is what I was saying as well. There are 3 C's they talk about. Criticism is one of them. You're literally criticizing someone. You're harming someone, saying that, and it's hurting. And what makes us so all, knowing it all, that we know and we can give you the right judgment, and we can, the fashion police as well, saying that, oh, you are supposed to wear that, you're not. So you can start talking that, okay, the way you dress all the time, very uptight, I don't like that. You can say the same thing, but the things that, would it be right? Is it, if I'm comfortable, yeah, definitely there are places where I probably won't wear a lungi in a party. Even though some people are quite, they have made
lungis are awesome.
Awesome, exactly. But you probably won't wear, when you're going to see the Prime Minister, say, if I have an opportunity, I won't wear lungi normally, probably. Even I don't wear lungi. But the things that I'm saying, no disrespect to the dress, but the thing is, there are some people who have done it. I know one of my friends in America, in New York, he walked around the street in New York wearing a lungi intentionally, because he said, that's a dress, or that's a piece of clothing that in my country everyone wears, so why not? So if we have to know, and this is my culture, like when people from Nigerian background, they have very interesting clothing and very nice too. They wear it, I mean, in a very proud way, and they're not. So this is what I feel that, in every respect, every time you tell me something, I find myself at awe, I'm like, oh, really? Because there are ways, and if you can accept a person, and if you feel like, okay, then that person should find someone else that dresses like that, talks like that, walks like that, or whatever complaints he has, rather than trying to change someone who's not like that.
I have never had a problem with anyone telling me, no one had a problem with my fashion sense. In fact, they would say the opposite, which is, they like it or they appreciate it. But I sent a picture just in case. I just want to see what you both think of what I wore yesterday. In this number. I sent it to you.
Okay. I think we can probably show it here. I'll try.
Can we, if I press here, do we use it?
It's for you both, but just...
Okay. Yeah. We'll have a look probably. And or if we can we show that on screen?
Oh, you can show it on screen. I don't mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you look great.
So, I lost it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the problem is. I really couldn't tell. It's a nice color.
I mean, the flares were probably not super expensive, but they're very comfy. I wore them.
It doesn't matter.
You mean you were wearing that?
He described it as Jamaican,
I get it.
as it's supposed to be an insult, but it's racist.
No, also it feels that, okay, it can be wrong from many different levels. First of all, why does it have to be expensive? If it's not expensive, is it not good? I mean, this mentality, there's one person, is a philosopher, he said once, when you see someone driving around his expensive Ferrari and making that sounds like vroom vroom, he's doing that, it's something that he's in need of love and care, because he needs that attention. So sometimes, okay, I'm flaunting look at my suit, it's 500 pounds or 1,000 pounds, or my shoes, look at this, it's from that brand. It's more about, look at me, because he doesn't have that attention in his life. Someone who has that, he should be happy with anything. Because normally, do I have to, if I'm walking around in house around Esther, do you think I always have to do my hair? I wear always the right clothing. I always put on perfume and things like that. And she doesn't do either.
That's a normal. This is what I was trying to explain to him, that let's say that guy married someone else and, I don't know, they have 3 kids or whatever. She's not going to be wearing some la-di-da hot
all the time,
every single day of their life. That's not how
it's funny, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's not real life.
Interesting.
And if that comment is, this is what you wear when you go to Tesco, okay, fine. If you are feeling that informal that day and you're happy to wear that, that's up to you. It's really funny. And also, even the comment about being expensive, it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Because I can't actually, you go to Zara and things start from £45 or whatever. It's too expensive. So if I can find something very, very similar in a market or a charity shop or Primark or whatever, I will get that, because to me, they all kind of sometimes come from the same place anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not into
I really don't get this idea, to be honest with you, because once you have worn it, even if it's from Zara, it might end up being in a charity shop after you've worn it once, right? And then someone else might have a chance to wear that, and then probably someone else would again buy that. I mean, it can be recycled how many times? So long people are ready to wear that.
Plus, when people buy shoes that are like, trainers, £500, £1,000 and upwards, they're still walking on the same ground that I'm walking on.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? They're not like putting it in some shelf and never touching them. They're still walking outside. It's still going to get dirty.
And if your feet are happy, why not?
Yeah. But I also think in the end of the day, who cares what you're wearing if you're happy with it? If it is £500 shoes, okay. If it's in your budget and that's what you want to do, then power to you. But for someone else to go, you shouldn't be wearing... Who is anyone else to say what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Again, it just boils down to...
I am happy. That's the thing. Like, I was happy with what I was wearing and what I wear normally. But to have this criticism and then to be blamed, not to be accepting the criticism, I just...
I mean, I've had a few times where I've been to events, like family events, where I wondered, should I wear a sari or should I wear, salwar kameez? And obviously these are not clothes that I'm familiar with. And I was so freaked out about getting it right. Because obviously I'm tall, I'm European. So in any case, people are going to look when I wear something. It has to be perfect. And he's been very good.
But the caveat is, I never asked her to wear those.
No. I always say,
she wants to.
I want to wear them, and it's always like, would it be appropriate to wear this or not? But then he helps me figure out how it's supposed to go, because I really don't know, And YouTube isn't always that helpful.
But in the meantime, we have some interesting comment. Madam Isha said, "I will not feel comfortable with my boyfriend if he wears lungi." Well, if he wears at home, I don't know if you'd be okay, because many guys, they wear lungi
not feel
at home.
If you're wearing lungi outside.
I only wore once, probably for 3 days in my life. When I was very young.
When you were like 3.
Yeah. And Suhana Mansoor from America, hello.
Oh, good.
And Maddie Misha, again, she added, keep calm with explosive or narcissistic personality is hard, I guess. That's true.
But the bottom line is, my dear, you looked great. And if you feel great, then who cares what anyone says?
It's time to change the person,
Don't change the wardrobe, change the guy.
Their opinions, how much you want to ignore them. They kind of become a little bit, they affect you, basically.
Yeah. This is why there's this quote I really like. You can't change your friends, but you can change your friends. I said once, probably,
you can't change your family, but you can change your friends.
No, same thing.
Oh, really?
You can't change your friends. Like, you won't be able to change his personality.
But you can change
But
who
you
your friends
can
are.
change your friends. Same thing. I mean, it seems like, okay, what kind of catch-22 situation is that? But the thing is, you can't change the personality, but you definitely can change that person. Or basically what it means that
another one.
You can pick another friend. Yeah, that's the thing. Because looks like a person, I mean, it's not about the clothing and ideas about clothing, fashion sense, nothing. It's down to, as a human being, what kind of human being he or she is when someone is literally attacking someone on different point of view. Say, for example, so does it mean, say, for example, if someone cannot afford at that time to buy the clothes from that brand, so...
No, he offered to buy, so imagine I threw all my clothes away and then he offered to pay for like a new wardrobe.
No, I'm saying that, say, if it could be his friend, I mean, when he won't even buy clothes for him, but does it mean that, okay, if your friend or someone you know is not wearing that clothes from a particular brand or not spending that money, you won't mix with them? Does it make sense? Even you just mix with people, or you just mingle with people based on how much money they spend on their clothing, what they wear. It's so shallow, isn't it? Because you are not seeing what's inside. You're judging a book by its cover. And
seeing what's outside,
yeah.
I think maybe I was trying to see, like, okay, what exactly, let's say, like, what exactly does he want me to wear? Is it like beige and navy and these kinds of, like very bland colors and muted? Because I really don't wear this kind of stuff. Like, I'm completely opposite. And especially now connecting with, my culture, I like to wear sometimes the bindi and the bangles and the t-shirts with Bangladeshi phrases and all of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is, I think it's just like a different sense of fashion style and
the sense of fashion is one thing, but I feel that on a humanistic level, there's something definitely wrong. I mean, when if you don't like something, you offer something, but if you make comments as well, which is hurtful, I don't see any reason why someone can do that, and it's fundamentally something is wrong there, which you can't change. Even if you wear this something expensive to that person's liking, then he will again find some kind of fault in that and make another comment. It would never stop. I mean, you can't change people like that because they need a different version of you, or probably a different person altogether. So when I have whatever is available for me. Say, for example, you go for shopping. You are looking for a particular vase. You're like, okay, I'm looking for a red one, but I got a blue one. Okay, let's take it home and paint it red. And then the red would come really quite not right because you're not a professional painter, first of all. And it came from the factory as a blue one. You're trying to make it red. So from about when you were born, you came as who you are. And over the years, that's what you are. And that person is trying to change your personality. It won't really end up being so fruitful, I guess.
It really is. I love my stuff, my clothes.
Yeah, good. The end, my friend. The end.
Selena, nice talking to you as always. And I think every time you say those things, and I find that the answers are there, literally.
You already know. We're happy to acknowledge what you already know.
Yeah. No, I know. I never planned to. I mean, I called to talk about this.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's a lesson for everyone.
It's good.
It's a learning experience.
Because what we're talking about, it is useful to anyone else. Because there's so many of us who have the same thing. So it's not just, you're broadening the field and you're making it possible for other people to have that interaction as well. So it is never wrong to call. Never, never, never.
Thank you. Both.
No problem.
No problem.
So
we're gonna see the picture. I did see the picture of what you wore. So keep sending pictures of what you wear, and we'll keep telling you that it looks awesome.
Yeah, don't know. It's just
it doesn't start from what you're wearing. It's first of all, if you're not a good human being and wearing the expensive clothes or whatever brand clothing you're wearing, the thing is, I was reading a research paper the other day about black or white personalities. So it's not about race. It's about inside. If you're black or white. So if you're black initially, inside, if you are conning people and if you feel like, okay, you'll get some advantage, it's a short-term thing. End of the day, you lose more. You lose more people around you, friends around you. People don't like you. They kind of are disgusted inside, even to think of you. So that's the thing.
The thing is, with the criticism of the clothes, that's not something he would do to the friends, because obviously he doesn't really care what the male friends wear. So with me, it's more like he doesn't find it attractive or something. Actually, I wore these very nice fake leather trousers that my cousin gave me, and I'm like, okay, he didn't like that. But I wore it, and I keep on wearing it. It's very comfortable. It's very nice. It goes with lots of things. But my fashion sense is kind of a little bit more extroverted.
Boho, as you call it.
So, boho chic.
And he doesn't like it. I mean, not everyone is going to like it, but
no, I mean,
you're right.
that's
as long as I like it, who gives a crap?
No, I mean, when definitely you suddenly didn't start wearing these clothes, you used to wear the same clothes probably when you met him. So at that time,
I did.
So that person liked you when you were wearing these clothes, and suddenly at this vested interest or this hidden intention that, okay, I'm going to change her anyways. Okay, let's start where she is now, but I'm going to change her. I'm going to change how she talks. I'm going to change how she dresses. I'm going to change how she looks. So it looks like that the person needs someone else, not you.
I know. I decided that 2022, I mean, everyone says it every year, but 2022, it's got a nice ring to it, and it will be my year. Hopefully, God willing, and leave everything behind. Not everything, but
when you're ready, trust me, things start coming to you.
Yeah.
I've seen that in my own life. You just get ready for that, and automatically you attract the things. I'm not talking about law of attraction or anything. It's just automatically. The thing is that if you are that person, you feel that you're ready and you want to be, you will attract the right kind of people towards you. That's what happens.
A good friend of mine who had been wanting to be with a specific woman for about 3 years. They had been half a planet apart. And this guy had another friend of his who was just a complete toxic personality. And he decided, yesterday he called me. He says, you know what? I've had enough. I've done with this guy. He's just a pain. And I've told him I never want to speak to him again. And 3 hours later, the woman that he'd been trying to get with for 3 years called him by the way, I've just come to Europe and I want to see you. 3 hours after it happened, he just put an order in his life, got rid of the toxic personality, and it opened the door elsewhere. And I thought that was very cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
it happens.
to be honest, I've seen it many times.
Well, it happened to us as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like if I do that, like, oh, I never want to speak to you again, blah, 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 then I don't think a door is going to open like instantly. But
who knows?
You know, who knows? Yeah. Because right now,
if anything, it will be less complicated. Whatever it is, it will be less complicated. Do you know what I mean? Even if, you know, the knight on shining armor doesn't rock up on a horse the next day, at least not having to deal with the negative aspect will be a positive gain. So that's, I would say, is worth putting in some order.
No, he says to me to let him know whenever, if I meet anyone else who is as nice and caring as he was to me.
Good, and you let him know that you will, and just leave it at that.
We always think it's a sign of very arrogant person, you know, personality. But from a place, I mean, I've seen many times, people would curse. You'd never find anyone like me. I'm telling you, I'm cursing you for life. You'll never find love and things like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it doesn't work out. If you're ready, because we are entitled to love and care from our own, I mean, from his place where he is, he will find someone probably, they will be on the same kind of level and they would want the same kind of brand and this and that. If they're happy with the lack of depth in the relationship, they might be happy with that. You never know. But if that's not right for you, I think it's not right for you. If not right for him, it's not right for him. Everyone is different. So he will probably attract his kind. You never know. But
well, Esther and Ershad, you have my blessing.
Oh, thank you.
If you find somebody for me, you let me know.
Will do.
Matchmaking, okay.
Oh, we're not matchmaking. This is knowing who you are.
No one has ever matched. People are, I don't know, busy with their lives or they don't know anyone. But I feel uncomfortable in our culture where we have to kind of send a CV, like a paper CV to people. And I don't want anyone to have a paper CV of me, obviously, if things don't, go forward.
No.
So it's a bit weird.
I think you should just start with, decide with what it is that you want in a person and have no limits to where or how that person's going to enter your life. And I mean, that, honestly, I never thought I was going to be with someone from Bangladesh, but I had never gotten any sort of, I don't want, an Asian guy, or it was just, I knew exactly what person I wanted, and it happens to come in the perfect package that is Ershad Alamgir.
Oh God, thank you. That's very sweet.
No, I'm saying just don't put a limitation on it. Figure out first of all what it is that you want, and then you have more clarity in when you have that person in your life. Or when not to choose someone, when they just don't. And don't compromise with your own personal reality of what you want. Don't compromise.
Yeah, that's actually what I wrote in my, I did my notes. Like
Good.
On my notes.
Yeah.
I wrote New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Don't accept swearing or toxic behaviors. You've already said that. Don't excuse yourself for being the way you are.
Yeah.
You are wonderful and unique, and there is no one like you in this world. And strive for the kind of love you want, basically.
Right. Perfect. There you go. And stick with it. And if it means that for a little while you're by yourself, you're better off by yourself than violating your own integrity.
And we'll be with you.
And compromising. And
every
you'll have
week
us.
in that journey. We can always, we can always talk about it, and you can tell us, okay, what new things you're doing, or how you are shedding some of the things that you're not happy about in your life. What changes you're bringing up.
Honestly speaking, I find it very hard to shed toxic people, let's just say, because you know how you both were saying you had a wonderful Christmas. I mean, I don't celebrate Christmas, but on Christmas Day, I did go out with that person. And then I went to my sister's place for an invitation. I always thought, I think I've figured it out. Like, I don't have like a huge, thousands and thousands of friends or whatever. I do have a huge family, but I think if I did have that huge group of girlfriends, then I wouldn't be relying on someone who's toxic, like a male toxic person.
But you do realize the reason why it is so hard to get rid of a person who is toxic is because what does essentially a toxic person do is that they don't generate enough of the aliveness, happiness, and whatever goodness themselves. They feed off another person. So they're not going to let you go because you are a survival point for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
you're talking about a narcissistic trait.
Yeah, so you're in, if the toxic person realizes he is about to lose the life force that you are, then it's going to be, oh no, please don't. And
they're parasites.
Yeah, and the position will be, you're going to be hung up in a maybe, where you're like, you know what, they are actually quite nice, you know what, maybe, blah blah, and they make you feel like you can't make up your bloody mind. And it's really simple, because you don't need them, but they need you, and that's why it is so hard to get rid of such a person in your life.
And also, so we are always scared of, as I was saying, changes, and also being lonely is the worst thing.
It is scary, but you are better off by yourself than being fed off, drip feeding to drip feeding.
Because I would never suggest anyone to lose themselves.
No.
Just for the sake of someone else.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing. It's always better to stay away from that kind of influence. No matter what.
I told myself it's very hard to go cold turkey, but then I think to myself, okay, I'm just gonna, communicate less and less, and let's see. But then, the person messages you or something, just normal question like, what are you doing or whatever, and then you just
you feel warm
you respond,
inside,
and then it all starts from there.
Yeah.
And then they start saying, making kind of like, or starting to being argumentative and angry, but then they end up saying, can you please just let it go? But it's like, no, because you said this. And that's upset me, so of course I will respond.
Yeah.
In
and that's all
way.
part of the package, isn't it? They make you feel like you can't do quite without them, and should I not, and da-da-da. And so gone is another month, and here we are.
Yeah, because they say, they just want peace. And I know, like, I just think fundamentally we're very, very different people, and that's why it's like chalk and cheese. I think, like I was saying before, we're very afraid to probably like stop communicating, but I think that has to be the thing. It probably has to be the end result, because right now he's just threatening me, going, that's the last thing he'll do.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, okay, it does. It is painful.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? You will do it, and you will get there. I have complete confidence in that. I really do. I know it because I've done it. I've been there. I know it. So. And it is an absolute pain. And once you know it, you've learned your lesson. You will never do that again.
No, we all have been through it, to be honest.
Because you've done it before, and none of those other people matter.
And the worst part I found is that person was actually just as unhappy as I was. And to realize that, and that was the case. And that other person since found a new partner, and they are so happy, and we're really good friends now, because they don't need me to parasite on anymore. But, he's doing fantastic. And he found someone who is a perfect harmony for him. It's not like a mad woman like I was, he thought.
They think we're mad. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's that's his reality. So that's fine. He can have his reality. But, that's easy to say now that it's over. But it's tough when you're in the middle of it. And that I appreciate. I can sympathize with that.
And you think, obviously, now you've made the absolute right decision, because you'll probably be the, a better person, or someone who matches you much more.
Yeah. Well, the hallmark that I know right now is that I didn't need to change a single bit to be with Ershad. In fact, I am more myself than I've ever been in a really, really long time since I'm with him. And I think that is probably the best hallmark in a relationship.
That's so nice. I think what we're probably all thinking maybe is that for the New Year's, be more like Ershad and Esther.
That's so sweet.
That's so cute. You know what the secret is? Be yourself. Honestly, that is what we are. We are being ourselves. There's no competition. There's no out integrity. It's all just be yourselves, and it happened to just mash perfectly.
But being ourselves with all the good qualities that came with it,
and
we
the responsibility
say we worked on something. There are some things which were already inbuilt.
Yeah.
So I found her to start with a very good listener.
Right.
So that's something I've been practicing myself. Then I everywhere, not only relationship, everywhere. Someone is talking to me, how I should respond. Because there had been times when I'm busy, I'm on the phone and someone's talking to me, and then suddenly I realized, oh my God, how embarrassing is that I'm looking at my phone and that person is talking to me. I'm not even looking at his face or her face. So that's when things I worked on as well. So I think when you have worked on yourself and you keep on working, it doesn't stop, to be honest. We always can be a little bit better every day. So from that point, being yourself really benefits. if you feel that
I know exactly. Like I am myself, and I want somebody to accept me for who I am, rather than having to change them and their toxic behaviors. It's so exhausting, and I don't know, like, why it keeps on happening. But I don't want to meet anyone who's like very robotic and can't face their like emotions. Very emotionless people.
Yeah.
I think 2022 is the year when you have to start respecting yourself more. And that's what I would say. I wouldn't say do this, do that, break up. I won't say those things, because as Esther keeps on saying all the time, whenever this topic comes up, that person probably is as unhappy because he's complaining. You have to listen to it. That he's saying you need to start wearing this, you need to do that, you need to talk like that, and you need to stop doing those events, or you need to, everything. He's saying a lot of things. If you're a good listener, you'll see that person is unhappy too. So it's for the better of
100%. He's even said it. I am unhappy.
Oh my
Those
God.
very words.
So,
Oh my God. Okay.
Selena, you
Like we
answered
say,
everything.
The answer is there already.
Yeah, you're unhappy. I'm unhappy. So
that's terrible.
The thing is, he works on lots of cases in his work, like problem solving.
Right.
So it's very sad because he solves hundreds of cases in his work life, but he couldn't solve this. And I think it is unsolvable because, with two very like different people.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, our personalities and all this stuff, because I was saying that everything else would fall into place if we were fundamentally matching very well.
No, I mean, solving problems is not a problem. I mean, if you even can solve problems as a robot, right? So if you're saying that person is robotic, I mean, they have definitely a rule book and he just goes by the book and solves it, fine. But the thing is that's why they said that you can either be a manager or a leader. So at work, you can be a manager and do things whatever you need to do, or you can be a leader where everyone loves you and they do things for you out of love, not just because a manager is saying so. So it depends. So just because they solve the problem doesn't prove anything.
No, but I also think, and this is something you could also even say to him, is that perhaps he feels because he couldn't change you that he's failed somehow. He hasn't failed. It just wasn't. If something is just not meant to be, then he's not wrong. You're not wrong. It didn't match. So it's just,
I have said that actually.
Yeah,
both,
and perhaps he's just worried that he feels like
we're just not on the same page.
Yeah, or he feels that because he's so competent at what he does, he's so solution oriented and can solve any problems, and somehow he hasn't solved this, and he's going to keep going until he solves it. He's like, there's nothing to be solved, and he wasn't wrong. Neither were you. And you have so much time to have a wonderful life still, both of you.
Yeah,
I know. I just sit and I just think, why am I wasting my life? Like,
share with him this episode.
Sorry, what did you say? I
said share this episode with him and tell him that we love him and we wish him all the best for a wonderful life.
Oh my God, no! I think he would actually kill me.
And also a caveat saying that please don't be enemies of these two people.
No. But the thing is, we don't mean, and we reiterate this with everything we say. Obviously, we speak only from experience and from what we have studied. But more importantly, the most important thing is that if it didn't work out for you, then it probably also didn't work out for him. And if you're both not winning at this, then you're both going to be better off. Because we speak, obviously, because you're talking to us, we take what you're saying to us. We haven't heard his side of the story, but it doesn't matter, because the point is, if there's no harmony, then, well, you're both not going to be happy, and it's really that simple. So I also want to make sure, like, we're not taking sides here. It's just, it didn't work. Okay, it didn't work,
Yeah, move on. You probably both are thinking, oh my God, Selena, why don't you just bloody move on?
No, I understand
it's
how
hard.
difficult
it is.
It is hard because there is so much emotional connection to it. If you didn't give a damn, then you would have broken up already. You know what I mean? But you obviously care, and so does he. So
I think we are broken up, but it's just that weird place where you're like figuring out.
But the problem starts happening when you get stuck in that loop.
Yeah.
So you know what is wrong. Then every time you go back, I mean, I know someone as well. In our lives, we both know, I think, that people have, I mean, we know people like that. That they know that's not right for them. They keep on doing the same thing, staying in the same loop for years on end. Yeah. And what's happening? I
don't want to be like that.
They're losing their time. They're getting old as well in the meantime.
Yeah.
They are not trying what's good for them just because they're scared of being lonely.
Yeah.
they're stuck.
Yeah.
Don't be that person.
No.
You know, you were asking, what has everyone been up to in the Christmas and New Year's Eve and stuff. New Year's Eve, I was fine. I was like happy, normal, whatever, my normal self. But in the latter half of it, it was spent crying, actually.
Oh, no.
In a restaurant. Silent tears, not falling my eyes. And then I think he becomes a bit more like kind of softer and saying all these like nice things or appreciative things. But it's like I was just thinking back on the New Year's Eve, and like this obviously was not something I planned, to happen or get upset.
That's why if you feel that, it's the same emotions that's happening. I mean, we have been discussing about it for some time now. It's been probably now a month, but you've been dealing with it even for years now, or probably a couple of years. So
no, not for years, for months now.
Oh no, but dealing with the situation of that person.
Oh, like a similar situation.
Yeah. So it's been quite some time. I think at least a year. So I think by now you should listen to yourself, because you should listen to what's going on inside of you. And if you keep on ignoring it, it's not good for your self-confidence as well. Because then yourself would start thinking that you deserve it. So at some point you will keep on accepting anything. It's not only in relationship, everywhere, at work, outside, everywhere, you just accept every wrong thing that people do to you. Because we should be standing up against those things. Anything that's not right, that goes against what we are, I think we have every right to say no to that. And we have to learn to say no as well. This is one of the important things. All right, Selena, nice talking to you. And we hope to listen to you next week with some changes. I mean, whatever change, we're not saying whatever. It's everything. The ball is in your court, to change our life.
I'll call in next week, turn into a man.
Yeah. That's very sweet.
Oh, dear.
Okay, Selena, have a great evening and keep watching. We should have some interesting callers as well.
Stay positive. Stay positive.
Yes. New Year.
Yes.
Positivity. More positivity.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Selena 2.0.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Selena.
Take care, huh?
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So in the meantime, we had some lovely messages. Maddie Misha has been listening, and she'd been agreeing to many of the things. And she said, very well said, Ershad and
Very
Esther.
well said, brother from Chittagong. I am your ex-student from Sanguin Tavrirov Sladivic. Friend. Keep it, Bhaya. This is...
Ujjal, thank you.
Ujjal,
I think
nice.
probably, back in my student days.
Yeah.
So one of my students is great to see, and they have grown up and they have learned to see the right from the wrong. And
Great.
Babu Bablu has these plans for 2022.
Oh, yeah.
So his plans, let me read it out to you. Do concentrate in one thing. Recent business I've started.
Yay.
So he will be concentrating on this one thing.
Good.
I don't know if Babu Bablu is still there or not. Spend less time on social media and do something productive. It's very important.
But always watch Knowing Who You Are.
It's trap. Not knowing who you are. It's a trap. Like social media is a trap.
Yeah.
You open it, you get stuck. Normally, say we do watch shows here and there. That's a different thing. But when you're watching videos after videos, 30 second, 20 second, 10 second, one after another.
Killer.
And it's nothing you're learning from.
No.
It's a waste of time. Spend less time. Okay, I read that. Learn a new skill. Very good. This is what I'm doing as well. Like I learned towards the end of 2021 how to swim. That was the topic.
Yay.
So now I can confidently swim. And now my teacher, she doesn't need to be with me anymore. I just go to the swimming pool, swim anywhere, do
now
anything.
We actually race.
Yeah. So I've learned, and I keep on learning new things. That's one of the things I love to do. Do one good deed every day. Very nice. Yep. Try to help people, give people. I think that's one place to start with. Anything. You don't have to give money or anything. Just, as I was saying, give love, just good behavior, good attitude towards people.
Yeah.
Be in service to others.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. And he will read. He said 5 books to read.
Ooh.
Atomic Habits. That's a really nice book. James Clear. Live Leverage. Wow. Rob Moore. One Thing is Gray Keller. The Compound Effect, Darren Hardy.
Wow.
Nice book list. I'm going to check them. Some of them I don't know, so I'm going to have a look.
Yeah.
What is it? Selena
Nice.
is Selena, sometimes I forget. There are people listening, but thank you again.
It's okay.
It's okay, Selena.
It's all right. We make sure that whenever, a person starts to download, that we keep you from saying anything that would be a problem. The most important thing that you should know, you're doing a massive service by speaking so candidly and speaking so openly, because trust me, you are not the only person who has these problems.
Yeah.
And it's very, very...
It's an
very
eye-opener.
nice. It's really nice that you're able to be so honest with us and we can help you. So do not worry about it. You'll only be respected more for being so honest and open with that.
No, definitely, because other people, they'll get to see what's right or what's wrong happening in their lives and where they are missing out as well.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you are very brave that you're bringing these things and your personal life out in the open and discussing with us as friends. But there are people who can't.
And in fact, we should call this episode Esther, Ershad, and Selena.
Yeah. So not to worry at all, Selena.
Yeah.
So people who are watching, we were talking about your New Year plans. Like we had read what Baobablu had said. Nice plans.
Yeah, well done.
One thing at a time. Sometimes Baobablu, one thing I would suggest to you, that we fall in a trap. We make such a big to-do list. We get scared. Looking at our to-do list, we end up doing nothing. So make sure you do one thing at a time and don't beat yourself up sometimes if you fall behind. But make sure the end of the year, at least you make some progress. So you have to keep trying to catch up, but don't put like 10 important things every day or 5 important things every day.
Yeah.
Because then if you can't do those, if you don't have enough time, because all those things are quite a huge undertaking, you have to look after your business. That's on its own is a big task. And then read every day, probably when you wake up or whenever you have time, a page. You don't have to, even if you don't end up, but I think 365 days, I'm not sure if you will be able to finish all 5 books. I don't know the size because Atomic Habits itself is quite a big book. But the thing is that even if you get to read some gist, because Blinkist is one place where you can listen to the books as well, and they come with the summaries. At least you can. Then there's audiobook as well. You can listen to on Scribd or Audible. So that helps too, if you're busy that you can't read. Because I had been doing this torture to myself when I would be reading something and listening to another audiobook. That was crazy. But that's not really at all advisable. Because you are confusing your brain and you don't end up learning anything. But I could take in, so I thought I was learning, but it's not a good practice.
When I found you one day, I think it's really funny because you talk about all these subjects, right? Because earlier on you're saying and you're studying Python, C++, and what was the other one? Java. So here's the thing, right? When he says that, when he talks about Python, I think of snakes. When I think of C++, I think of a rescue degree that I got when I was swimming teacher. And when you talk about Java, I think about cakes. It's so funny. Anyway, it just goes to show my mentality. Snakes, cakes, and swimming.
Oh my God. No, but not everyone is expert in everything.
No, and not everyone needs to know everything.
Exactly.
And it's so.
if
it's
that's something you enjoy doing, do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you enjoy doing.
I'm doing my degree in fine arts right now.
And you're doing your arts.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
Absolutely.
So if you love to do it, you do it.
Absolutely.
So we have people who are watching now, and if anyone we haven't spoken to, you can give us a call. Still, the number is there. If you're in the UK, you can give us a call, just dialing 073 08192 908. And if you're calling us from any part of the world, again, there's WhatsApp, so you can connect us, just dialing 0044 in front and without the 07 308 192 908. So the number is there. That's how you call us. So it's just down below.
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
We should do it like, I'm coming from here, like that. It's funny. It's the
okay,
wrong
I'm trying. Yeah. All right. So whoever is watching now, let us know where you're from, or if it's one of our callers. And Baobablu, in the meantime, poor guy, he sent at least 4 times his New Year resolution.
Yeah.
But we end up reading it so that you know. Here's another book recommendation, 4,000
Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. Okay.
Oh, God. I'm going to write the name of these books. I'm going to research.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, lovely. 4,000 weeks. Wow.
Well, I personally really like Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I've
This
now
book
read
is
it.
full
It's
of
really,
resources,
really good.
every
Such
page, every para.
simplicity,
Yeah.
such simplicities, common sense, really nice.
But you need to
read,
take notes if you read that book.
No, which I did, absolutely. And then I read it again anyway, for the same reason, because it's like you can always get more things out of it.
Yeah, I keep it like, every now and then I go back and see
Yeah,
things.
I saw that.
My favorite chapter is negativity, by the way. If anyone gets to read that book, read that chapter. It's very nice, easily explained, but your eyes will be open and suddenly you'll be like, oh, really? That's how it was. Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
So, do you have any book recommendation on letting toxicity go and emotional abuse?
Grit.
Or mindset, growth mindset. No.
Yeah. I think Like a Monk, actually.
I would say too.
Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Really, really good one.
And what was the book? I have to check. Love Yourself. Oh, there's this book you definitely should read. It's very easy read. I'm finding this book for you. Let's see. And Esther, you can keep them busy in the meantime.
I think Like a Monk with Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty was actually a monk for a little while and went back and became a life coach. And he has, sometimes you think you have to give up your whole life to be a monk and have a certain behavioral way and you have to, be a full-time. You don't. And he basically gives the simplicities. What you do.
That's the book. Sorry, I covered Esther's face. So love yourself like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Kamal Ravikant.
Yeah, I'm being covered.
Yeah.
I was talking. So the Think Like a Monk basically gives you the viewpoint of a monk, which is a very sort of a peaceful, in harmony way of living life, but not to the point where you submit yourself at total effect. You put you in a position of being cause and where you can be in control and can do the right thing. So with some really simple methods of getting through day-to-day life.
But you need to take it easy. Read that book. It's a very easy read. But there's so much information you need to take in. You should take notes, read a page, think about this, and probably it could be your bedtime read. And
by the way, we have Gita Basnet who is watching. Hi, Gita. Gita became a grandma last month.
Oh, yeah. Congrats, Gita.
Yeah, congratulations.
To you, to Sushi, to Mahi, Jewel.
Netra. Yeah,
Netra.
Lovely family.
So I hope she got the name of the book. Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It, Kamal Ravikant. So, he lot of lesson and how at some point, literally, he was so indifferent about his health, relationship, everything. And he had been through a breakup, then his relationship. He was a tech billionaire or a millionaire in America. But what he learned from that, and literally he was dying in the hospital bed. When he was literally on the verge of dying, he realized if he can come back, what things he would do to turn his life around.
Wow.
So Selena, and that's a very easy read as well, but very nice book.
I think you should show it again.
Yeah.
Just because I was...
Sorry, No, you're not yapping. I just showed it over your face. I'm sorry for that rudeness.
Love yourself like your life depends on it.
Yeah. I'm not trying to cover Esther's face. Yeah.
I'm pointing to it.
Okay.
Oh God, this is so difficult.
Yeah, I think they got it.
Okay, good. Excellent.
And the book she was talking about, Think Like a Monk.
Oh, yeah.
I think he should pay us, both of them.
I know, we keep talking about him, we keep forwarding it, in fact. But and he does his great podcast. He's excellent. Really, really good. Great public speaker. Mm-hmm. And one day we'll interview him on Knowing Who You Are.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the book.
Think Like a Monk. Awesome book.
I think it's a very good book.
Yeah, it's great.
Because I don't really... Because I go from a scientific point of view most of the time. And
I'll go for the spiritual side more than anything.
I don't read that many books like this, how to 10 tips for having a great relationship or things like that. But I try to start from the source. So everything starts from the mind. So I go in a scientific way and definitely I find sources. But I listen to podcasts and that helps. But book-wise, that's why I was lost. I was like, which one to really? But I think these two books, even if you just finish these two books, you'd learn a lot. That will make you think.
Yeah.
So And let's see, we have new people joining in every time we get towards the end of the show. That's so what happens. So to sum it up. Recap. So we talked about anger today, and we talked about different types of angry people. So just to go, we have explosive, self-abusive, avoidance type. When people are not saying what's happening, they're like, no, I'm okay, don't tell me about this. And then there are people sarcastic, when they're being sarcastic towards you, showing their anger. Then passive aggressive and habitual irritation, when you can't talk to them, they're always angry with you. And passive aggressive, when someone is doing things in a way that shows that they're not happy. Say they're putting things, making a noise when they're putting the glass. Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing. And also we talked about what we learned from last year, and learning from there what we should apply. Say people we should steer clear of probably, or the situation we should steer clear of, or people we should mix more because they brought the positivity in our lives, and being around them made us happy. So what kind of people we should be around more. So these are the lessons that for me as well. And also one lesson I realized towards the end of the year is things keep on changing. And don't feel bad about changes, but when good things are happening, enjoy it and be 100% present and enjoy that moment, because it might not last forever. Because I had this realization this 2021 towards the end. So I was telling Esther as well. And there are new plans that I'm working hard on them, so I can stay on track to go where I want to go this year. And end of the year, I want to see myself probably, as I say, one step at a time. Every day you can make changes, so you're better than yesterday. And that was one thing. And then we had this nice chat with Selena. I think just the chat itself, this conversation, people might have heard the things we discussed about that might help them in their relationships and going forward as well. And you have to add anything to that I missed?
No, you covered it all. It's all covered.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, and nice to see a lot of response today. A lot of people from different parts of the world. Bahrain and Bangladesh, London, and other people, they have joined. And Babu Bablu had his whole resolution in front of us. So amazing, Babu Bablu. You know, sharing resolution, sometimes it happens that you make yourself accountable. So now you be accountable to all these people who listen to it. I read your resolution for them. So you have to at least get a few things done, but in doing so, as I was saying, don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Don't be harsh if you miss out on some things, and don't make a huge list every day because you'll be hard. Oh yeah, Maddie Misha, this is the book. This is a very good spiritual book. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle is good one. It's a very thin book. I have all those books that I was talking about. And Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. I'm trying to find it, so it's easy for people to find the Power of Now. Okay. So that's the present cover, and that's what I have as well. Okay, the Power of Now. Thank you.
I follow him on Instagram. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
He has some nice quotes on there.
And his demeanor, he's like nothing can do anything to him. He's so calm. Amazing guy. Yeah, so thank you, Maddie Misha. And there's a Russian guy, it's a bot probably, Voom.ong.
Okay.
It's a bot.
What is a bot?
Bot is more like YouTube has these robots, they just send you these links.
Okay.
So it's not real human behind this.
We had Voom.ong follow us on Knowing Who You Are. Woohoo!
Thank you, Maddie.
And thank you, Maddie, also for your comments throughout the whole program.
How positive is this? This is what we're talking about. Knowing Who You Are, this podcast, we wanted to build a community around depth. Look, how many lovely book recommendations we got. I mean, literally, Maddie said, and we had talked about a few books. Selena had made a recommendation. Bao Bablu had made 5 book recommendations. So we can go through them and we can find some probably treasure trove of information inside those books.
Yeah.
So on that note, we'd like to finish today's live, and everyone have a good rest of the night and have a great rest of the week or beginning of the week, which is starting already, has started for you.
Exactly.
And on that note, we'll see you next Sunday, same time.
6 o'clock.
Same channel.
Good night.